I don't see him over there. Where is that coming from? What are you doing up there? Oh my goodness.
Next time you come in, you might want to pay special attention to the pipes because of their age and because of their beauty and what they represent. They represent beautiful song and singing up to God. So there you have it. I bet you didn't know you could come up here, huh? There's a secret passage around here, and I'm about to show you what that passage is. Okay? So follow me. Entrance up to the attic. I wonder if you guys have such an entrance up to your attic. Whoa. Woo! Boy, it's pretty high up. And look at all that dust. So, you see the ladder is in the sacristy for the altar servers and all the ministers and all those people who work behind the scenes. This is where everything is kept for them. So you know Mr. Biggest, our friend Mr. Biggest, he loves hanging out in here because he's always touching stuff. He's always bringing stuff out and getting it ready for us. So this is what we call the Minister Sacristy. So let me give you a little tour. It's the first thing we see is this is one of the altar server closets. We have a lot of altar servers at Immaculate. We're pretty blessed. And on this cabinet, it holds all their special cassocks that they wear when they serve. So for example, they look like this. And I'm always after those kids to make sure they hang stuff up. And you know what? They're pretty good at it. So everything gets hung up in here. So when they come in to serve, they take their cassock and they put it on. And then they place one of these crosses around their neck. It kind of distinguishes them what their duty is as a server, right? So they wear this around their neck and they're in that white outfit and it makes them look as though they have a special job. And you know what? They do. They really help me by holding my books, setting the altar up for us, washing my fingers, all kinds of wonderful things. I love my servers so much. Mr. Biggest does too, because he teaches you all how to serve, right? So, elsewhere here, let's see. And on the front of this, Mr. Biggest put these pictures up because we didn't want you to forget the servers, especially how to set up the altar. So you see, those are the cups that we use on the altar. And there's my book and my big cup, okay? And there's another picture of the chalices with the small patens that hold all of the communion that we give to our family when they come to church. Now, because of the coronavirus, this is going to be changing for a while, all right? We won't be able to offer the cup, the precious blood of Jesus, to people anymore. So I'll be the only one who will have just a little bit in this cup here, but no more cups on the altar. Kind of sad. But it'll come back. And so these plates, now, this is where communion is for the people. Instead of having them real close to me, they're going to be on the edge of the altar. And why do you suppose that is? That's right. Yeah. How did you know that? Because I won't be wearing a mask. So they have to put the plates far away from me, just in case I have a little something coming out of my mouth when I don't want it. You know, like sometimes the Lord be with you, and I can see a little something going from my mouth. So I don't want that to happen and fall onto the plates, okay? So they're going to be in a different spot. But we're going to talk about that next week, about all the changes that are going to take place, at least for a few months. Who knows? It could be a year. We don't know. But all the things that are going to be a little bit different when you come to church. But it'll be a good experience. We're going to make it the best experience possible, but it'll be different, okay? And then over here, thanks to Mr. Biggest, once again, we have a way to put on the little rope. Where are those little ropes? There they are. There, you see we have some different colors. We have the red ones. We wear around Pentecost. We just had Pentecost, right? We wear that one. We would wear it on special days of the martyrs. And the gold we wear around Christmas time and Easter time. And the white ones we wear around Christmas and Easter too. And then we have some green ones, which are not hanging here right now. Where are they, Mrs. Goss? Oh, Mrs. Goss took them home to wash. There you go. No, she didn't. Okay, well, we have green ones too. Okay, and here's our more cassocks because we have so many servers. So we're really proud of that and happy about that. So that takes care of our servers, okay? Now you may be wondering sometimes, where do we keep the cups that we use on the altar, the chalices and the plates, and the communion bread. Where's all that stuff? Well, let me show you. Right here is a cabinet full of the chalices that we use. And we have quite a few sets. We try to change them for different times of the year. So at Christmas time, we would use our best ones, and they're kept in here, and they're kept under lock and key. And then during the year, we would use our second best ones. They're pretty good though. And then sometimes over here, we use different ones that kind of relate to the season. Now, for example, you see this one here. It's a different color, right? And so we would use this purple one for when? That's right. And when else? That's right. You know these things. For Advent and for Lent. So I think somebody's giving you the answers. Mrs. Goss, are you giving the answers? Are you whispering the answers? Anyway, so we have the colored set for those wonderful times of the year. And do you know that this set was made by one of our parishioners? He was a wonderful man, a great potter, and he is now gone to God. But we still have his beautiful set that he made by hand, and I think of him all the time. He and his wonderful wife, Mary Ann, a wonderful couple, and so a great gift to us. So I'll put that back there real carefully, because if it breaks, it won't be replaced. So there. So that's where we keep all the special things. Now over here, usually this goes down below, but I left it out. And this is called a monstrance. So if you ever saw benediction here, which is when we go to the altar, we take the piece of host, the piece of Jesus, that bigger piece, and we put it right in the back here. And it's right there. It fits in there, and then I close the cover. And then you can see the host. You can see Jesus present in this monstrance. And usually we leave it on the altar every Tuesday from morning till early evening. And people can come in and pray and say their rosary, do their daily prayers, all kinds of things. Just sit with Jesus. So it's something we had to stop for a while again because of the coronavirus. But that might come back pretty soon too. Who knows? But it might be different. But anyway, so it's Jesus in the monstrance, right? We take him from the tabernacle. Remember we talked about the tabernacle? That special house where we keep Jesus, that special place. And we take him and we put him where he can be seen by all the people who come into the church and pray. Okay? We had benediction this morning, which is we incense Jesus and we recognize who he is and we pray to him in a special way. And this morning when I was doing that, I was praying for all of you who would tune in this morning. And I'm thinking in my head, I wonder who's watching this morning. And you know what, my little friends? Sometimes some big people are watching with us. I'm finding that out, that some big people are tuning in on our time. But that's okay, right? Because they can learn too. So, and we have little things like this little wagon that helps bring stuff out to the altar. We have this bowl that you might have seen me use in church before when we have incense in church. I offer that smoke. That smoke is like a sign of our prayers going up to God. So it's called incense, and it smells wonderful. But some people find it very difficult to smell it because they have a hard time breathing, so it makes it hard for them. So we try to be cautious when we use incense, okay? I used it this morning because there were very few people in the church. So over here is a table that we hold all of our special books in. So, for example, maybe you saw this book, For Whom the Bell Tolls. This book is one of our very special books. It's a gospel book. It has a metal cover. It has gold and silver on it. Very, very special and very beautifully carved. And this is our special gospel book for the season of Christmas and Easter. So we used it there for a few weeks. You might have seen it on the altar because sometimes it's pretty heavy. When I hold it up and everybody's singing hallelujah, and it's a little heavy. But nonetheless, it tells us that's important, that it's the gospel book. It's the words of Jesus. And when the priest or deacon reads those words come alive for us. It's like Jesus speaking to us. All the things that he said held in this wonderful, beautiful book. So, we keep that in here. And we keep other books that we use as well. All in here. And you notice that the colors of the books match the season, right? What season are we in now? We just finished Easter, so what season are we in? Yep, that's right. Again, I don't know how you know all this stuff, but ordinary time, right? And the color for ordinary time is blue. No. Red. No. Green. Yes. And where else would we find this color? Remember when we talked about the entrance to the church, the gathering space where the baptismal font is kept? That's right. And over the font are those beautiful ribbons, right? What color do you think those ribbons are now? Yes, you're right. Green. Green. So green is the color for ordinary time. And the vestments that I wear, remember we saw those last week, I think it was? What color would I wear? Green, right? Because it's ordinary time. So now you know where all this stuff is kept. It's important. And we have other things here too, like candles we use sometimes for special occasions, and wonderful picture of Our Lady of Guadalupe there, and a beautiful blessing from the Pope that was Pope before Pope Francis, Pope Benedict. And I was able to get this blessing from him when I was over in Rome and I studied a little bit. So it says here, His Holiness Benedict XVI cordially imparts the requested apostolic blessing to the Reverend Jerome R. Gingras, that's me, and liturgical ministers of the Church of the Immaculate Conception, Glenville, New York, invoking abundant divine graces. So yeah, that was from the Pope, and that blessing is always with us in the church, and anybody who does anything in the church, ministers in the church, you get that special blessing. So, if you're an altar server, you get that blessing. If you're an usher, a greeter, you help out at the doors, you get the blessing. Okay, so I hope that you'll consider doing something, especially as you get older. You know, there's always wonderful things that you can do. So, I think that kind of finishes what's all in here. There's other things too, like towels to wipe the vessels when we clean them, little finger towels that I use to wipe the cups, and everything that we need is in this room. And it's stored very carefully because it's all very important. So, all that being said, I just want to touch a little bit on the gospel this morning. In the gospel, Jesus said to us that we are the salt of the earth and the light of the world. Think about that. Salt, huh? How we like salt on our French fries, how we like salt on our popcorn, gives it good taste, right? So Jesus is using that vision for us, that we can give the world a good taste when we are good Christians, when we love Jesus and love one another. And he said we can be the light of the world, which means when it's dark outside, you know, we look for our flashlight or we light a candle, it makes a difference, right? It lights up things that we can't see. So when you act appropriately, when you act as a real Christian follower of Jesus, you too can make the world, and sometimes it's dark places, you can make it much brighter. And right now, there's a lot of darkness in our country, right? There's a lot of stuff going on, and people are being hurt, and bad things are happening. But good things are happening too, because some people are very peaceful. Who was the man of peace? Jesus, right? So when they're peaceful,
they're acting like Jesus, and they're the light of the world. So these people who are demonstrating peacefully for equality for all people, they're doing a good thing. And we should be doing that too, right? And we do that every time we act with good grace and kindness and justice and love of our neighbor, and we help our neighbor out who might be older, and help our parents out at home, and our brothers and sisters. There's a million ways that we can be salt and light for the world. So remember that today. How can you be light for the world? How can you be salt for the world? Jesus put you here for a reason, and that is to be salt and to be light. So think about that today. You might even want to ask your mom and dad, how can I be a light for our family? How can I be a light for our community? And you might want to ask your mom and dad that too. How are you a light, Mom? How are you a light, Dad? And I think that they'll tell you that when they are good parents, when they love each other, when they do good things at their workplace, whether it be home or the place that they go to, they're the light of the world, right? So we all have an opportunity to be a light. And just think, if everybody was the light of the world like Jesus, how bright it would be and how happy it would be. So I'll leave you with that today. Okay, it was great being with you as always. And I'll look forward, if it's possible, to be with you next week as well. Okay, so till next time, you be well, take care of yourselves, keep your distance, wear your mask,